Hi, this is JMAGZ from the official Basketball Commoner YouTube channel, where we talk about all things basketball and everything under the sun. Today we'll be talking about the things you should know before getting a tattoo. Right? So I just had my first tattoo a couple of weeks ago, and I realized there are a lot of things you should know before getting one. Right? Things to consider, from picking the design, the things you should expect, and how to make sure your tattoo heals quickly. So you're lucky we'll be covering all of that, but before we start, I just want to get this out. You know, the stigma of having a tattoo, that it's bad, that it's for uncivilized people, people with tattoo getting judged, not getting a job because of that. So, you know, I have relatives and family who still think old school, and they did not approve of it at all. I told my mom and she said no. And oh, I have friends who said you should not get one. And that's just reality. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But for me, tattoo is an art. Our ancestors had body paint and tattoos, and they turned out fine. A tattoo done right, with the right purpose and a deep meaning to it, to me that's the highest form of expression. So now that it's out of the way, let's start. Number one, make sure it's the design you really want. Yes, your tattoo is going to be permanent, so make sure you won't ever regret getting it done. And I know you can get the tattoo removed nowadays, but I've heard it's probably more painful than getting one. And trust me, you don't want to go through that pain. Not to mention you end up spending more money than you want to. And make sure you don't go to that tattoo shop without a design in mind. It has to be a design that represents you or something important to you. Otherwise, you'll just get bored looking at it and maybe regret having it. So, you know, we've all heard about people getting tattoos when they're drunk or emotional. Please don't do that. You don't want your friends laughing at you for getting a very awful tattoo. A good tattoo artist will help you out with your concept and finalize the design for you. So take note, don't ever give the go signal if you're not happy with the final design. You know how big it is, where you want it done. Take note, you will be the one wearing it for the rest of your life, so you have every right to demand. As for me, I wanted to do this for many years, and at that time I didn't have the money or the courage to do it, but I already had a design in mind, and over the years I got to tweak that design and add more elements to it. So here it is. And it's the yin yang symbol, right? It's a belief system I've embraced over the years. It represents the harmony and balance of things, that everything is interconnected, that there's good and evil, that there's darkness and light. And then over the years, I've been stumbled on a yin yang design with a dragon and tiger in it. And it turned out to be the celestial dragon and celestial tiger that represented heaven and earth, spirit and matter, and it's a concept that I really liked. And then I have this burn scar in my right calf from a motorcycle accident. So it just all clicked, and I said to myself, well, I want to have that. I want that tattoo to cover my scar. So it's not just a design alone, not just a belief system I embrace, but it also has a purpose, which is to cover my scar. So I hope you find that design for you and that purpose as well. Okay, so let's go to number two. Find a good tattoo artist. Yes, it's very important. So think of this. You have the design, you like it very much, you're ready to go, but having the best design is useless if your tattoo artist can't execute it well. It's the finished product that matters. So you don't want your tattoo to look awful when it should be a piece of art. Do your research. Most tattoo artists show their work in social media. Scan through their work. Ask your friends. Make sure you like their style. You know, some tattoo artists have strengths or expertise. Some excel in tribal tattoo designs. Some are good with minimalist tattoos or Japanese art or portraits and all that. So there's just a lot of styles to choose from. And some artists are good at everything. So remember, you are paying your hard-earned money for this, right? So if you look at a tattoo artist's work and it's shabby, or the lines are not straight, or the curves are not done right, the proportions don't look right, remember, you don't need to be artistic to spot these. It's either going to look great or not. So plus you can always ask your friends for their opinions. It's your money, right? And you're the one who's gonna be wearing the tattoo. So it's all about you, not the artist, right? So lastly, make sure that you are not paying way more than you should pay for. So you must know the bigger the tattoo, the more you pay for it as well, right? And that colored tattoos are more expensive than black and white. So for me, I decided to go with just the regular tattoo, being black and white. It's my first tattoo and I wanted it to look a bit formal, right? And I didn't want all the colors and all that. I'm very happy with the decision I made. So number 3, preparations and expectations. I didn't know that scars need to be fully healed for you to have the tattoo done. So good thing I had the scar for more than 2 years already, so I didn't have any problems. But you should know the scar should be at least a year old before you can have a tattoo done. Otherwise, the ink might not hold, and you don't want that, right? So you should know that if you're doing a tattoo over a scar, make sure that your tattoo artist also has experience in scar cover-ups. Otherwise, you might not get the results you want. Why? Because scars are hard to predict, and every scar is different. So it's challenging for some artists, right? I've had artists telling me they don't do scar cover-ups. That's fine, right? But if it's a regular tattoo that you want done, no scars, no blemishes and all that, you should have no problem at all. Next is you should not be drinking alcohol before getting a tattoo. Why? Because especially if it's the day before your session or before your session, alcohol is a blood thinner and it might cause your tattoo to bleed more, and you don't want that. Trust me, you already have pain and you don't want to complicate things, right? Now, when you get to the studio, you should be working with your tattoo artist to finalize the design, right? They would create a pattern, they would stick it to your desired location, whether it's in your arms, in your legs, on your back. Make sure it's the size you want and it's in the location that you want it to be, right? But there's a huge but there. You also need to listen to your tattoo artist on some tweaks, right? I know I said it's about you, right? But your tattoo artist has experience and you have to listen to them, because sometimes, and this is really depending on your design, if it's too small, it will not pop or it will not be recognizable, or if the location is kind of off, it's somewhere that affects the proportion or the look of that tattoo. So also tattoos with very fine details and lines and shading and all that needs to be bigger so the artist has plenty of room, right? Remember, again, make sure to accept the input of your tattoo artist because they know better in terms of the artistic side of it. As for me, we had to resize the initial design because it was too big and it wrapped around my calf a little bit, and I wanted it to be recognizable when you look at it in one glance, right? So we had to make that adjustment. And at the same time, I also wanted my tattoo to totally cover my scar, but it ended a bit on the left side of my calf. So my tattoo artist made the suggestion to move it towards the center a little bit to make the tattoo look good, and so it doesn't look like it's off or it's poorly done. And when someone's looking at it from the back, it doesn't look right. So in which I agreed, right? So we made that tweak, and he was still, thankfully, he was still able to cover 95% of my scar, and I was very happy with it. We're down to number 4, managing the pain. So we're getting to the fun part, right? Is getting a tattoo really painful? For me, it varies from person to person. Some people have high pain tolerance. It also depends on the location of your tattoo. A general guideline is that if it's near the bone, it will surely hurt more, or if it's near some sensitive parts, it will be more painful as well. So you can Google that for more information. That's one of the things you need to consider if you're getting your first tattoo, the location, right? So you don't want to be fainting during the session. And I forgot to tell you, your tattoo artist should be wearing masks and gloves, and the needles should be brand new, right? Your tattoo artist should be able to show you that before you start the session. Otherwise, you would be risking your health. And what to answer your question, yes, it is. It's really painful. And that's coming from me, a person with high pain tolerance. So just a bit of a backstory, right? When I got this scar in my right calf, it was a 3rd-degree burn. I did not know back then that it was something serious, right? But I did not get myself checked, and I did not go to the hospital. I just self-medicated. Imagine that, for a 3rd-degree burn. And please don't be stupid like me, right? But anyway, breathing exercises and meditation helped me through the pain, right? It was the worst pain ever. It took a long time to heal, but I managed through the pain. I was only absent for a day, and I reported back to work with my pants on. I know, right? How stupid can I get, right? And I mean, that's just me. I'm stubborn, but please don't do what I did, right? So, okay, back to the topic. For those of you who want a bit of a leeway, some tattoo artists would offer you numbing creams for an additional price, of course. Know that numbing creams would only last for 30 minutes to an hour, and then you would need to reapply it. And even with that, you would still feel a lot of pain. So most sessions would take 3 to 5 hours, and if you keep up reapplying it, it will just lengthen the duration. Some artists don't do numbing creams because they feel like the pain is part of the process, right? And that it also affects the quality of the tattoo. It has something to do with your skin getting firm and all that. But as for me, I went with a numbing cream since I had extra money and it was my first time. But I tell you, it only works for a while. And personally, for the price, I think it was not worth it. Right, so we get to the actual tattoo session, right? I was kind of ready for the pain caused by the needles piercing through your skin over and over, right? They're using that machine. What I was not expecting is that when your artist wipes their work from time to time, it's more painful than the needles. Yes, because it feels like your fresh wound is getting scraped by a blade. It's like a different feeling. It's a burning feeling in your skin, right? So be ready for that. Your tattoo artist will wipe it every now and then, and it's really gonna hurt a lot, right? So even for me, with a high pain tolerance, I think we pretty much established that. But during the 4 or 5 hour session, I got bored. I found myself video calling my dad. I did not tell him I was getting a tattoo at that time. He asked me where I was, and I said I was getting a massage, and he believed me. I called a colleague after that, chat about things. Um, I got bored, slept a little bit. So, what got me through the session is really the breathing exercises. So, you should stay calm and be relaxed. Don't be nervous, right? Don't breathe fast and hard because it's just gonna make you feel the pain more. Just breathe in gently, take all the air in and breathe all the air out. So you have to trust me, it helps with the pain. I've been using this technique for years for any type of pain. The tattoo artist was even amazed, like when I was not calling my dad or my colleague or taking a nap, me and my tattoo artist was just chatting the whole time about the local rap game, fishing, our hobbies and all that. So, but the unexpected happens, right? We got down to maybe the final 30 to 40 minute stretch where he had to do the finishing touches and use the white ink. Man, the pain level just soared. I mean, it was different kind of pain. It was very, very, very painful. Like I can't imagine, right? I tried all the breathing techniques. It's just painful, man. It's unbearable. Maybe because I was caught off guard. I did not expect it. I did not expect it. I don't know. But I think because he had to work on all the details, he was tattooing over the tattooed parts and using the white ink, and it's just a different kind of pain, man. From what I read, white ink hurts more because the artist have to do it over and over again until the white ink registers to your skin. I'm telling you, I was praying for it to end, right? Like I was mulling over telling the artist to stop and just stop and not finish the details and not finish the white ink and stuff. But that's just how painful it was. Like, man. So good thing I'm here to tell you this, my experience. I was just relieved when we were done, right? And when you're done, it's going to hurt. Like after a few minutes, you will feel the pain. Like I kind of associate the pain when I got my 3rd-degree burn, So I really hope you paid attention to the things that I'm saying here, right? Especially if it's going to be your first time. I really learned a lot from that experience. But the next part is also a very critical aspect when getting a tattoo. And now we're down to the last bit, and it's number 5, tattoo aftercare.